everyone, and welcome back to Ladies of Lavender. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and like to join the Ladies of Lavender family. Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about how to deal with getting your period at camp. And I'm going to be focusing on sleepover camps, away camps, stuff like that. This may be a longer video because I'm going to be giving advice on multiple different fields, and I will also be giving trans-friendly advice. So make sure to watch to the end. But first, I wanted to remind you guys that we do have an Instagram. Make sure to go follow us over at Ladies of Lavender. We post usually every single week to give you guys a heads up on what video we are posting for that week. Plus, we do donations every other month, and I think that you guys would really enjoy seeing how we do that, what's involved, what's going on, stuff like that. I know that camps are starting up again, so I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible so it could help a good few of you. Alright, so let's get right into the video. So first, I'm going to go over what to specifically pack, and it's a really good idea to pack period products no matter what. Even if you don't think you're going to get your period at the camp, just in case. But for those of you who are going to get your period at camp, the stuff I'm going to say in this video is definitely recommended for y'all. So I'm going to be recommending 4 products, and the first one is pads. So whether or not you are a pad person, you're going to need to pack nighttime pads. So check before you go to camp how many nights you're going to be staying at the camp, and then pack that many pads plus 2. Pads can sometimes get messed up, like when you put them in your underwear or when you're taking them out of the wrapping. Sometimes they can get all jumbled up and then unusable. So it never hurts to carry a few extra just in case it happens. Plus, if someone needs one and you have an extra one, it works out too. For those of you who use pads all the time, I would recommend that you allot 2 pads per day plus 2. For those of you who have a heavier flow but don't necessarily need to use maxi pads, I would recommend that you bring 1 to 2 maxi pads just in case your flow suddenly gets heavier on one day. So number 2 is tampons. I know a lot of you do not like tampons, and I totally get that. At the end of the day, you need to do what makes you comfortable. My only recommendation for those of you who don't like tampons is that you should bring tampons for swimming. Swimming is a really big part of away camps usually, so I would recommend buying a small box of tampons to bring in case you swim. So some of you have asked if you're allowed to wear pads when you're swimming. And I'm just gonna address that and give my personal opinion on it. And if any of you have swam with pads on, then please leave it down below and tell us about it, because I've never personally tried it because I don't really trust it. So I want you guys to leave advice down below if you have experience in it. So my problem with wearing pads when you swim is that if you use pads with wings, the wings that go underneath the underwear to make it more secure and protect the sides of your underwear from blood, if you're wearing a swimsuit, obviously that wing is going to go over the bottom of your swimsuit, which would make it obvious that you're wearing a pad when you're swimming or jumping into the pool. So if you decided to wear pads in your swimsuit that did not have wings, my issue would be that they would be less secure. And also, I'm not completely sure how well the sticky backside would stick to the swimsuit when submerged in water, meaning that it could possibly come loose and maybe come out of the swimsuit. The last thing I'm concerned about is that pads are designed to be absorbent, and so if you were to go into the pool wearing a pad, there's a really good chance that the pad would absorb the water from the pool rather than your menstrual blood, which is a big concern for me. So even if you put multiple pads on top of the first pad, it's still going to absorb the water. It's still going to be obvious that you're wearing a pad. So I know that a lot of you aren't comfortable wearing tampons, but I would really recommend that you try tampons. You don't have to wear it all the time, just for a few hours when you're swimming, and then you can take it out. But for those of you who like wearing tampons, you wear them all the time, I would allot 2 to 3 tampons per day, and then add 2 to the end of that. So you'll have 2 tampons, 2 to 3 tampons that you can use every single day, and then 2 extra in case you mess up putting a tampon in or someone else needs one. But you're going to need to bring pads to sleep in. And number 3 is panty liners. So we did a video on panty liners just in case you're not completely sure what I'm talking about. You can go check that out. But I would recommend you a lot, 1 to 2 panty liners per day, plus 2 like we've been doing throughout this. Panty liners are great to keep your underwear clean from sweat or from discharge, which are both completely normal and healthy. Those of you who will be on your periods do not need to bring lots of panty liners because chances are you're not going to need them. You're going to need pads or tampons, but I would still bring 2 to 3 panty liners in case your period comes to an end and you want to use the panty liners. And number 4 is menstrual cup. So this one is completely optional. I just wanted to throw it in case anyone was interested in going a little bit more eco-friendly with their period products for camp. Menstrual cups are great because you can wear them for 12 hours without changing. You can wear them for any activity, plus they're reusable so you don't need to stock up on any other period product, just menstrual cups. The only downside is that whenever you take out the menstrual cup every 12 hours, you would need to wash it out with soap and water, and of course that's not really a discreet thing, so that's the only downside. And I'd also only recommend this product for those of you who have experience using menstrual cups before, because it takes a little bit to get used to the menstrual cup, so I wouldn't want y'all's first experience with menstrual cups to be in a place where you don't have any other products and you're kind of forced to use a menstrual cup. I want you guys to be comfortable with them before you use them a lot. So these are like some other things that I would recommend and just a little bit of advice from my own experience. So the other thing I think you should consider bringing is Cvs Hand Warmers. I know that sounds really weird, but they work really well for cramps. Plus you can put them in the waistband of your pants when you're doing activities during the day, or you could put them on your stomach when you're sleeping at night. They're also really small and really discreet, and they come in large packets. So the second thing I would also recommend bringing is a black towel. This should be a extra towel that you bring, so not one of your main bathing towels or beach towels. This should be a separate towel that's black. And I would recommend to put this towel down on your sheets while you're sleeping, so if you do happen to leak in the middle of the night, it's caught on the towel and not on the sheets. And the third thing I would recommend bringing is Ziploc bags. We talked last week about how to safely dispose of period products, and this was one of the options if you don't have trash cans readily available. So the same goes for this week. I would recommend bringing a box of Ziploc bags and carry a few with you each day in case you go on hikes or you happen to go camping one time at camp. They're really great to use period products in to then dispose of, or you could use them to store period products in if you need to go somewhere during the day and you don't have any pockets or a backpack or something, if you just need a tiny little thing to carry. And the other thing I would recommend is that you check the regulations on medication with a parent or adult, because if you're allowed to bring like pain relievers like Advil, ibuprofen, stuff like that, I would really recommend bringing it so you can use that if you have cramps. But if they do not allow you to carry your own, there's almost always a nurse on campus for any camp, and they will have Midol and Advil and stuff like that. So do not be afraid to go ask for that stuff, because that's what they're there for. Nurses and doctors at camp will also carry extra period products and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to take advantage of that. If you are feeling really bad cramps or you're running out of period products, do not be afraid to go to the nurse's office and ask for help, because that's what they're there for, and I assure you they want something to do, so I'm sure that they would be fine helping you. Okay, so the last thing is that I'm gonna try to include a little bit more trans-friendly advice, so a mix of what I've just said, but then also some modified tips. And I'm so sorry I've not been as inclusive in our videos. I try my best to talk about periods in a very inclusive way, but I know that I can be doing a lot better. So I've personally gone to camp with a few trans people, and so these tips or modified tips are kind of based on what I've experienced with them. So if I don't touch on something, or if I leave something out, or if I'm not thinking of something, please leave it down below. do not be afraid to share your own advice, because I'm sure that it will help so many people. So the Cvs Hand Warmers in the black towel is what I would really recommend that you do. They're very discreet, especially the Cvs Hand Warmers. But I would even recommend bringing black sheets and then putting a black towel down so the towel matches the sheets. But that way, if you accidentally leak onto your sheets, you can't tell. They're black. They don't really show stains. And I think also the safest option for trans boys is to use tampons and pads. I would avoid using any reusable products because it would draw attention to you washing them. Like for menstrual cups, you'd have to wash them with soap and water every 12 hours. And then of course, like period underwear, period swimsuits, you would have to hand wash and get all of the blood out of the items. So I don't think those are the most discreet. Last night, I did a lot of research on period swim trunks. I've been trying to find some boy-friendly period swimwear, but I haven't been able to find anything yet. But if you guys know of anything, drop it down below. But I thought that maybe it would be possible to use period swimwear, like period swim bottoms, underneath swim trunks. But then I was thinking, oh, that's still reusable period stuff, so you would have to wash it out. But it may work. So I know that disposing of period products may be the biggest concern. So I would say that you can either use normal Ziplocs, but add in a lot of toilet paper or paper towels around it to make it look like you're just throwing away toilet paper or paper towels. Or you can buy black tinted Ziplocs online, and I will leave a link down below to some slightly sketchy ones that I was able to find on the internet. But that way it's really discreet and you can't see what's in the Ziploc. And there's a pricier option to this. I was doing some research last night, and I found this little mini pouch that a lot of hikers use to store used period products, and it's odor free. It's very sanitary, and you can put used period products in there until you're able to throw them away. But all of these are really just recommendations. Of course, I'm not an expert, so please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. And again, if any of you have experience with this, if you have any advice, please leave it down below. And at the end of the day, do what makes you comfortable. And the last thing is for everyone, all of the products that I mentioned in this video can fit in a bag of some sort. I would definitely recommend that you separate daily items into a smaller bag that you can put in a backpack or a bag to bring around camp, but then keep the products that you'll use at night in a different bag that stays in your luggage or your trunk. So I hope that some of this helped. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about today's video or period related questions in general, you can send us an email at ladiesoflavender20@gmail.com, or you could send us a DM on Instagram at ladiesoflavender, or you could leave a comment down below. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I'll see you guys next week.
I've been looking for an answer.